You're listening to the Running Around Charlotte podcast, presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. 1 day, 5 events, with a race day distance for every goal and pace. Find out more or register at runcharlotte.com. Now, here are your hosts for the Running Around Charlotte podcast, Tim Rhodes and DC Lucchese.
Here we go, and welcome back to the Running Around Charlotte podcast. We are recording live here from the 2024 Novant Health Charlotte Marathon Expo. I'm DC Lucchese. In for Tim Rhodes is my friend and the ambassador lead, Lindsay McGee. And we have a super special guest here today. Lindsay, I know you just met her for the first time, but you probably know her name. And if you don't know her name, you've probably seen some of her work. MADDY EBBERT is all over the country and all over town. She's an artist and a muralist. You've seen some of her work. In fact, one of the most recent public things she's done is out there, right there at the Plaza in Central. You've seen that work out there at the seemingly overzealous ice cream shop right there in the corner. Yes. Super hot property, super hot piece of work there. But if you are a fan of the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon, if you are running with us this weekend, then you are going to see her work.
The most recent.
Most recent work. In fact, Maddie just saw it today for the first time in real life. The design on the T-shirt art this year. It's very exciting. Maddie, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's very fun seeing it all come together.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It really is cool. It really
Can
is
I
cool.
just jump straight into the compliment that I have?
Absolutely.
And she's blushing. When I
what's
realized
it
I
gonna
got to
be?
do this, I was like, so our ambassadors got to vote on 2 of the designs we were offered 2 of the designs. And it was a direct tie for how great both designs were.
Oh, yay.
So that is a compliment to you. I hope you see that as a compliment of, it was like 14-14. So not all the ambassadors voted. But then there was like 2 write-in votes because it was an A-B, and sometimes Slack gets confusing.
Yeah.
So it was a exact tie, and then I counted in the 2 votes and then my vote. And that is now the design that we chose. So thank you. Your art is so good that we love both of them, and we couldn't figure out.
I'm glad. I honestly had no idea who had seen the iterations because it started at 4, then went to 2, then went to the one that was picked.
And we told them, keep it quiet. I deleted it from the Slack channel. It didn't go on emails. It was locked down, super secret. I said, if this gets out, I know it's one of you 40. So
I know. Well,
nothing like you keep it a secret with 40 people. It's like, sure, yeah, right on.
Right. Well, my best friend, I just saw her for coffee, and she was like, I haven't really heard much about the marathon shirt. Like, this is a big deal. Why haven't you talked about it or posted about it? I'm like, I think it's hush hush until the
download.
Until the marathon. I was like, no one's directly told me I couldn't share it, but I'm just gonna not. I'm just gonna be safe and wait till the actual marathon. But it is kind of cool to see the unveiling.
We did a little secret photo shoot
we did?
like 2 Tuesdays ago.
Secret
And
photo
so
shoot.
I think I would say like 20 of my athletes at Summit Coffee Eastover got to see them. And they were like, oh, those are amazing. We probably had 5 more signups after that. Just for seeing
really.
the shirt.
It
was
super
so
well received.
huge compliments to you.
Cool.
It's gorgeous. The colors
you.
are fabulous. I feel like you really got Charlotte in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
It's something super fun and something very, very different. Usually lots of event shirts, including, this event. It's like something designed, showing logos and, elements of the medal or things like that. But it was super cool having you jump in and representing something literally from the outside looking in. That was super cool. Now, let's just go ahead and get right in. Where did you get your ideas? Where was your thought process? Because you've never run the event before, but you know Charlotte and you have, creative vision. Where did it all and how did it all come together for that?
Well, I kind of pulled pieces from a few different aspects. So first I asked around. My dad used to run races a lot. Like I have a lot of friends I've never run a marathon. Props to people who have, but I was asking around and I was like, what are things you like about getting the shirts and what are things you don't like? And a lot of people were saying, I don't want just like the logo slapped on there. I want something that represents the city. And then we were talking about there's people from all over. So how do you represent Charlotte for locals, but then also like as a souvenir for people who visited Charlotte for the first time, trying to represent. So I just pulled from the aspects of like when someone asked me about Charlotte, because I'm not from here. So people up north will be like, oh, what's Charlotte like? I try to think of the common things. So some of the places I like to go, like Camp North End and some of the parks, the greenways, the breweries, all the run clubs. And then there was a few things that I had to incorporate, like, the logo and the mile distance and the 20th anniversary. So just kind of bringing it all together.
I feel like you nailed it.
Yeah.
I feel like you really nailed it.
And, you know, she didn't really give me a prop when she said, she's like, hey, I want you to design the T-shirts for the marathon. I was like, cool. And she was like, all right. I was like, okay, so, like, what? She's like, you can use these colors.
Go, baby bird.
Here's the colors.
Right.
Just make sure you put the logo and the year on there. And I was like, do you know what you want? She's like, nah, just have fun with it. So that's why I sent her 4.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know what direction you want to go in. And she was like, I actually like all these, but then we narrowed it down.
And the she we're throwing under the bus, just to be perfectly clear, is Elena Williams. She's the event director.
Yes.
Amazing woman.
So, man, it's like, all right,
she's
like,
awesome.
I'm not throwing her under the bus. I'm being serious. It's like, you know, when we talked about you being one of the people to potentially design this, she saw some of the stuff you did. She goes, yeah, that sounds great. Looks great. I didn't know she gave you that much rope. So there you go.
Yeah. And she was super relaxed, super nice, and like going back and forth. I honestly like didn't realize what position she ran in the mural, and then or in the marathon. I was like, oh wow, she's
larger in charge, man. Yeah, I just try to stay out of the way, not screw anything up. So
I'm like, normally it's like you would pass it along to some marketing person to coordinate with me, but she was.
Clearly,
she's a great leader.
She didn't trust me with that. So
she finds the strength of people.
Yeah. She's like, I don't.
Don't let Dissy in the middle of this.
She did trust you to find someone though.
Yeah, there. I got that going for me.
She finds the strength in people and says, "You are capable. Go."
Yeah. Love that.
Well, and keeping this on you. You're super capable. You're not just doing this. You're doing a bunch of cool stuff. I hinted at the current project that you just wrapped up over there at Central and the Plaza with the seemingly overzealous piece. For those who haven't seen that, that's an amazing piece out there.
Are we going to be running by that? Because Central
it's part of the
Plaza.
route.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
right. So you'll get to see.
Their grand opening is tomorrow, right after the race.
So so the shop is opening. Yeah, so talk about perfect timing, right? So that's super cool. But you're doing a ton of cool work all over town.
Yeah.
You're not, for crying out loud, you're the worst at self-promotion, but I'm going to make you do it right now. Talk about that project and talk about some of the other stuff you got going on.
Okay. So I'm kind of unconventional with what I do. I kind of do a little bit of everything. So I do murals, but not just in Charlotte. So I travel to do them too. And I've been doing them where I know people for right now, but I'm starting to kind of venture out all the way down to Florida, up to Maryland, and trying to, go over to the West Coast too. But yeah, basically I reach out to people and I'm like, hey, you could use a mural in your space, and sometimes they agree to it. So
wow.
But so I don't actually have an apartment because of that, because I travel around so much. And I'm actually living in Uptown right now for 2 months because I reached out to a girl on Airbnb and was like, hey, you could really use some renovations. I'll do it for you for free if you let me stay there for free. And she said yes.
Wow.
My mom was like, how do you get these things? I was like, I just ask. and sometimes people say, I messaged 20 people. Yeah. She was the only one that answered, but she said yes.
That wall looks like it could use some art.
Yeah, because she lives in California. She doesn't have time to come over here.
I have a guest room the next time you come over.
Okay.
So
and
some
empty walls.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God.
plenty that need painted, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did you get into art? I'm sorry if I
No,
your
you're
question.
right.
Okay.
Tell people how you get
into art. This is what I love about this.
So I've always loved art growing up my whole life. My grandmother is the only other artistic person in our family. My dad's computer science, my mom's math, I'm the black sheep, but I always went up to her house and painted with her growing up. And then in high school, I was like, I want to keep doing art, but I need to be realistic, and how am I going to find a career in this field and not disappoint my parents and all that. So I went to the graphic design route, more computerized, and did a tech class or two in high school and was like, this is cool. So I went to college for graphic design. I minored in studio art, so I still got to do the fine art side. But then I did a full-time corporate graphic design job. Knew after 2 weeks it wasn't for me. I knew the corporate job. I couldn't.
We understand.
Yeah. I lasted a year, but I couldn't do it.
Right.
So then I decided I wanted to go onto my own, and so I got a job at a plant store and started selling my art there. And then I just grew from there.
I love that. Way to go.
I know. That was we were just talking about 2020 when I moved to Charlotte. So
will you message us when you're traveling and you happen to see your shirt on someone
somewhere
in another
else?
state?
That would be so
How
cool.
amazing will that be? Because DC, do you want to fact check us?
Yes, all 50
state.
states, 19 countries.
Yeah,
that's
so it's
crazy.
the shirt, your work will be
All
scattered
over.
far and
Literally
wide. Yeah, so
internationally.
I know. I don't think I realized like how widespread it was until they said that at the breakfast.
And how many photos.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure we pop something else on Instagram just that
Right.
praises you to say make sure we tag you.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee,
It-
but so you see how far you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
There are some ripples there for sure, right? And how many people will,
Yeah.
see that and go like,
What are
wow.
some other big projects
know.
we've seen around?
Camp North End.
Okay.
I did one there. There's the bookstore. That's Novel Books. Lalissa, she's fantastic. There's one inside and then one outside, and they're kind of coordinating. It's one of my personal favorites. I do a lot of private residence ones too, so like nurseries, inside houses, stuff like that. So obviously can't go see those.
Did you recently do one for a baby named Ollie?
I don't know the baby's name.
Okay.
But
A
I
friend
did.
of ours, Danielle.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
had the
wow.
mural done, and so I didn't know if that. If they
Oh,
she
no,
did.
don't know the answer
Yeah.
to that, but yeah, good
Okay.
point. But you've done a bunch of stuff like that, and so how, personal things for people, and how do you take? I mean, let me ask this question a different way. Does everybody give you the same kind of direction Elena did, which is like, there is no direction, but here are a couple of things you need to know? Or
Everybody is so different. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate. I feel like everyone I work with is amazing, and maybe it's because I don't know. Like that energy bounces back, or I don't know what it is, but I'm very thankful for it. But most people come to me like, I saw you on Instagram, or someone recommended you, or I've seen your work and I really like it. This is what like someone for their nursery. They said we want gender neutral. We want animals, but we don't want it to be like woodsy or jungle. Like we just kind of want it to be all kinds. And I was like, okay, it's vague but specific enough. And I sent her a draft. And I love it. And I was like, okay, and we just went forward. I mean, and then other people will be like, I don't really like that direction. We'll switch. But most of the time, people are pretty open, and I usually don't have to do a lot of. So, yeah.
And you do everything from the design to the execution of.
Yeah.
Actually, they're painting it.
Yeah, that's a nice thing with the graphic design background because I know how to. So I draw it all digitally on my iPad. And then I'm really good with Photoshop, so I Photoshop it so they'll know exactly what it'll look like on their specific wall. Like I'll go take a picture of their wall, put it on there, show it to them, and they're like, awesome. And then I'll go and physically paint it.
For the visual learners, that's very important,
yes,
right?
because a lot of people, they'll say, oh, I want this. And in my head, instantly I have an idea.
Yeah.
But they're like, I can't picture what that looks like. And then I sketch it up, and they're like, oh, yeah, super cool. But not a lot of people can visualize it like that.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize. I thought everybody could see that. But
Oh, no, I'm a draw you picture kind of learner. So it's oh, God, yeah, sure, absolutely. But seeing a picture of it, I get it all the way.
But it is helpful to be able to do both, the digital backside and the actual painting. So
I send requests to our media team, like our marketing team, and I say, these are the things that I need on it. Can you do something? And they send it back to me, and every time I'm like, that's great. Fantastic. Move forward.
Right, perfect.
Boom. I'm not going to be able to create that, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
everybody has their talents.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
You got to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths,
Yeah.
and trust people who know what they're doing and all that stuff. And I love some of the memes and stuff about, especially in the digital design space, where it's like, make the logo bigger and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like, nope, that's going to make all the difference in the world. And you're like, it's like it's like the guitar amp. It's like turn it up or turn it down. You pretend like you're touching the knob, right? Yeah. Like these guys over here, Jason and Kyle. It's like, turn this up a little bit. They're like, sure, I got you, man. Well, thanks, guys.
Couldn't do it without that. You're not doing it.
But getting back on your thing and getting back on the creative piece and talking about Charlotte, you and I talked on shows before and talking about the creatives in Charlotte and what it means to be a creative in Charlotte, and I keep reiterating this number because I'm excited about it, with 117 people moving here every day, and not all of them are going to work for a bank, right? Some of them are coming because of the creative scene and the opportunity to kind of create what Charlotte's creative scene looks like.
Yeah.
Where are you, or where do you think you are in that space as far as helping define what Charlotte art and Charlotte's creative scene looks like?
Well, I will say that Charlotte is very unique, and I mean, you know this too, but with small businesses and artists, it is very driven by community. And I feel like I can say that unbiased because I've moved around so much and I've lived and I travel. So I'm like, other cities don't, act like that. And maybe, I don't know what it is. Maybe the people here are just great. I don't know. But,
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
that is definitely true. But everyone is very supportive. Like, I've only been doing murals for a year or two, but I'm friends with mural artists. Like, it's not a competitive thing whatsoever. Like, I've had other mural artists come and help me with projects and vice versa, like sharing tools and tips. And because we all have different styles, there's so many things that need painted. Like, there's no rivalry. It's all like trying to build each other up. So I would say I'm not someone who's been here for 10, 15 years established, but I am not too new that people don't know me. So I'm right in the middle, kind of supporting other people and getting supported. But I always
For
try
now,
really
you're not
hard.
too big. For now.
Yeah.
now you're not.
You're literally about to be in 19 new countries.
Okay, maybe
Fair,
up.
yeah.
We going up a step.
Right.
And I'll say
Exactly.
I moved here because I came and tested out Charlotte 3 years ago in March, and I loved the mural scene. I was so amazed by it that I decided to move here because the
Wow.
creativity was so good. And I'll share a quick story on a long training run a few weeks ago. I happened to pass Osiris Reigns' house, which I didn't know, but he has his van out front, and he was leaving his neighborhood, and I stopped and I gawked at him because I know who he is.
Yeah.
I've seen his work all around town.
Yeah.
He's like a big.
Yeah, he's huge.
It sounds weird, but like the art is a reason I moved here because I knew that there was a level of creativity and a level of community and just the freedom to
Yeah.
be that way in this city. And so I fangirled so hard to Osiris Reign, and he knows it. And then I
Yeah.
literally ran away, and I like did 2 little hop skips.
And then he
I love that.
called the cops and put out a 50B.
And then I like Instagrammed, and I was like with a special like run into
Yeah.
Osiris
Yeah.
Reign, and we had a little Instagram chat, and I think it just
Aw.
made his day. But I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god!
he
Like
probably
whenever I
loved
get to
that,
meet like a
yeah.
mural artist, because I am not a creative, I'm so fascinated. And DC knows I love the like Charlotte is creative.
Yeah,
event.
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
And so I'm in awe of how
Aw.
your brain works because it does not work that way with me.
Yeah,
But we all
well,
have our
That's
strengths.
so cool. We
We
love
love our
appreciators.
strengths, so-
You know.
So yes, I just piggybacking off of your like how Charlotte is creative. It's the reason I moved here.
Yeah,
Well, and
that's
it's
awesome.
not so sassy or too big in its britches that, like you said,
Yeah.
you can't walk up to somebody
Ugh,
who's
yeah.
like a national
too good
brand
for you
and
Right.
tell
sort
them,
of
wow,
person.
love
Yeah.
your stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can't work with
Yeah.
other artists
Yeah.
and not feel
Yeah.
like they're stealing my phone book, man. It's
Yeah.
like, this isn't
No.
going to work. It's like it's at that stage, and it feels like every creative we've spoken with says kind of the same thing. There's still
That's
a level
awesome.
of cool and community and camaraderie, that's a lot of C's unintentionally, where everybody's trying to make it work for everybody
Right.
else, because
Yeah.
there is no box right now that Charlotte art is in.
Yeah.
There are too
Right.
many empty walls right now.
Yeah.
Every time I see one,
There
I'm
will
like,
always be.
who? Can
Yeah.
I call?
Yeah. Who did that? I mean,
Now we
I know
know.
other cities.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, room
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
house.
Like, exactly. You're like, hold on. And her address is, hold on,
Yeah.
I'll send you the contact, like that kind of stuff. But I think along with that, with all those people moving every day and moving into Charlotte every day, I think just in the last several years, right, we've talked about this on plenty of shows. 117 people moving here every day. And, just a couple of years ago, there were a handful of running clubs, and now there are 73, 75, 76
They're
running
huge,
clubs
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff where people are trying to find each other, trying to find their tribe, trying to find their community. And it's not everybody who's trying to, BQ or anything. It's just people
Oh,
are trying
goodness.
to hang out and meet people and
Drink
do a
coffee or
thing.
beer,
Yeah.
Exactly.
which you
That's the
nailed
only option,
again.
yes.
Exactly. And do that thing, which, again, people moving here, trying to find community and trying to find who they can be with and have and discovering their new hometown,
Yeah.
right? And I think somebody like, it's in the kind of line of work that you're in, you have a totally different look at it because you're actually doing, no offense to other people, but you're doing some things that are super duper lasting. and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you may never, yes, you'll know that 9,600 people are going to walk away with some of your artwork today or tomorrow, but the other eyeballs that will see that, you'll never know that.
Right, yeah.
Just like the other people that will drive by, walk by, ride by, work that you're doing outside.
Yeah.
You'll never know the full impression of
Right.
those impressions. Or even something as personal as the nursery that you're doing,
Right, yeah.
you'll never know all the eyeballs and the impressions something like that will make. So that's got to be, I would think that would be challenging and freeing at the same time.
It is, yeah. And it's funny timing with the ice cream shop opening up tomorrow, same day as the marathon.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't even know that was happening. I knew it was coming,
Yeah.
but it was the same. That's
Traffic's
great.
going to be a little challenging.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they pushed it back to the afternoon, so afterwards. But
there you go.
yeah, I was talking to Garrett, the owner, and he's awesome. He's been really supportive of me. I did murals for his co-working space too, so that's
Perfect.
And this is the biggest mural I've done, and I had to go up on a lift. That was like a new challenge, like in my harness and everything. My mom, I sent a picture of my mom, and she was like, please be careful.
Is that OSHA approved? You're like, I
Yeah.
work for myself. Oh,
I'm
crap.
like,
I'm
Don't
very
worry about
free
it.
and I'm running the full, so I might just stop in. So what time
Yeah.
does that open? No.
I'll slow my roll
I'm
a little
sorry,
bit.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
But I was talking to Garrett, and he was like, you know, I was taking pictures of the final. Like, it's been, you know, a month or so, and a lot comes together for his shop, you know, inside and out. And we were just like sitting there admiring the outside, and he was like, I don't think you understand how much of an impact this is going to be. Like, this is going to be here for years. Like, he has an awesome business, and I know it'll be like a staple. So, and he knows that too. So he's like, this is going to be here for years. People walk by every day. People have already come up and asked me who the artist is. Like, he was like, I hope you are so proud of yourself, because I don't think you understand.
Yeah.
Because when I'm there, but even when I am there, it's a huge, every day when I was painting, 10, 20 people walk by and say, looks great, clap from their cars, honk at me, like every day. And normally I'm inside in someone's house or whatever. So like to be so public was really like, you know, I was so cool. Like, and so many people would message me on Instagram, people I have no idea, be like, oh my God, I saw you paint today. I was the one who honked.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. Like, the support means so much. So
Plaza Midwood is one of the most walkable sections of
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
because I live very close. And Saturdays and Sundays,
yeah. And
you can barely drive through the neighborhood because there's so
And that's
many
a good
walkers.
thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And
Like-
I work, you know, I would work till midnight some nights, and I'd be there on the weekends. So it's people like all times of day. And some people will, you know, take their dogs on a walk every day.
Oh, yes.
So they're like, we've seen from start to finish. And they'll
love
say
that.
it's so cool to like
Yeah.
see it all the way through. So yeah, it is very inspiring and very cool to.
Otherwise, in their neighborhood, they're just seeing houses bulldozed
Yes.
and then from start to finish. So
Right.
it's nice to see
Yeah.
artwork
yeah.
lasting, gorgeous
yeah.
artwork.
And that's one of the cool things I think about neighborhoods like that in Charlotte, and that's no slight on the newer neighborhoods and folks who live further out, but I think these closer in town neighborhoods, it's like there's a freedom there because there's such a close proximity between, you know, residential and commercial that it's like I live here and I'm 2 doors down from this commercial space. Why does it have to be some sterile thing that looks like a strip mall out in the burbs?
Too many empty
No
walls.
offense to the burbs. Why can't it be something cool that's got a little personality and makes me happy when I see it?
Right, and that whole
So-
shopping center they've renovated over the last couple years. The other Dave's
That's
Hot
true,
Chicken,
yeah.
they have a huge mural, and the taco place has like a big blue wall, so it's
Yeah.
very eye-catching.
Yeah.
My friends that came by were like, you need to go talk to the other business owners because we need this whole thing to be colored. And I was
You're like, all right.
I'm going out with my card after tomorrow and being like, who's that?
Yeah. Do you just stay in a city for as long as the need is there? How do you decide?
So I'm at the age where I have a lot of weddings.
Okay.
So
I know exactly
27.
We all
what that
remember
means.
that. We all remember that. Yes.
weddings,
yes, yes.
bachelorettes, 30th birthdays.
Yep.
I'm 27,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like all
Oh,
in
we
that
know.
realm.
That wedding.
Hold on, let me look
Yeah,
that
yeah.
up. Let me see if there's some Instagram memories I can look at.
No, it was before then.
Right. Oh my
both of us.
gosh.
Ouch.
That was
Oh,
pretty
okay,
quick.
that
Well done.
hurts.
Well done. I'll take that long.
Facebook.
I'll
We
take
got
that
it.
long.
Facebook, yes.
Yeah.
Instagram,
I'll
not
take
quite
that
so
long.
much.
There you go.
Yeah.
But so that's dictated a lot of my travels. So I've kind
That's
of been
fun.
like, oh, okay, if I'm going here, if I'm going to drive or fly all the way here, I might
Yeah.
as well stay. And then I try to figure out if I can get a job there or at least try to go and network a little bit and then so that I can come back later. And I have family like all up and down the East Coast. So Florida was my sister lives there, and my grandfather has a place. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go down there this winter. And then I just started reaching out to people. And then so I stayed longer, and then like I got a project to Charlotte, so I came back. It's kind of just follow wherever my life events or work takes me, and kind of just mesh it together.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So much.
And we've talked about this on another show, but I'm going to bring it up here again. I know your peers have got to be jealous as hell because some of them are doing lame jobs and jobs that they already hate.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you figured out you hated yours in 2 weeks, so props on you. But some of them are like, this has been the crappiest 2 years of my life, filling in whatever awful blank that I'm doing. But I'm sure when you see your peers or talk to them, they're like, sis, you got it figured out.
Yeah.
Chasing your dream.
There are times where it's like really stressful and it's over. Like sometimes when I work on the mural, it's like because there's tight deadlines and stuff. It's like I'm having like back spasms. I'm working like 12-hour days with like this harness that's 10 pounds up there, and it's like on a graded wire bottom. So I had to get like one of those like squishy pads.
Yes.
I was like, my feet are like blistering, and I'm like, I'm from painting. Like people don't realize the physical demands.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at pacing myself, but like sometimes you don't have that option. It needs to get done when it needs to get done. And I'm not a person I'll get it done, so it doesn't matter how I have to get there. But also I consider, okay, that can be a little hard, but I work hard. But I play hard too, because like for my cousin's wedding, I went out to San Francisco for his wedding, and I spent 3 weeks there after. So like I did that, and then I did the mural. So it's like just exploring, and I did like some computer work at cafes and stuff. And
That's cool, yeah.
And I met some really cool people, and I took a lot of cool photos that people were like, oh, I would totally buy that from you. Like just connecting with people.
Yeah.
Met a girl at a yoga class, and she was like, oh, like when I get my own studio one day, I'm gonna have you come paint it. Like I'm like, this is why I travel and do these things, because how else are you gonna make those connections?
She already understands networking.
I know.
Like she's crushed networking. Dear goodness.
Dude,
You could do a seminar on networking.
I know. Now we just got to get her to be a better self-promoter, and then she'll be
know.
unstoppable.
But the people, that
on it.
get to love what they do, it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the 12-hour days are hard. Plus, you have like Instagram to answer to. You have designs to create on your computer. But like, I love being a lead ambassador. But it's sure, like, I'm not taking any credit for the fact that we sold out. Like,
Well, you gotta take
that's on the ambassador. I'm working on it, but I'm not there.
Oh,
the
you guys are
people that
killing
love
me,
what
man.
we do, it's hard to take credit because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
I take full credit for staying out of everybody's way.
You did a good job.
It's
You
like,
connected people and
I'm
backed
staying
up.
out of everybody's way. I
Credit,
did not get anybody's way. So well done on me. Yay me. Yay me.
That's funny.
Kyle, would you do us a favor? Would you be so kind to just pull one of those shirts right there off that table? I want to show that.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, if you're able to do that for me while we're talking here to Maddie. I'm remiss in that I didn't bring one to the table for us to do that off the jump, but I want to make sure that we're showing that, so while people are looking at this, they'll go like, what exactly is he talking about? Because I know 9,600 people that are going to be wearing it, and the other additional eyeballs. Thank you.
And let's also, if you can promote yourself, Instagram, website, please, legitimately, please email.
So the 3 people that are not here today can look at that and go, that is freaking amazing. I mean, look at
so
that.
Good.
It's so
I do
incredible.
have my name. It's hidden right there.
Oh, there we go. I love
that.
So we've got our date, we've got our shoes, we've got Truist, we've got hearts for CLT.
Yep.
We've got the greenways, we've got beer, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
water towers.
Yep. I mean, it's really such a cool design. And before we got going this morning, we were upstairs at the partner breakfast, and you met Bill and those guys from Recover Brands, and I was like, Bill, Maddie, Bill, bringing the T-shirt together from Recover Brands, and the artist who put the thing on there. And Bill was very complimentary. He's like, we don't always get to work with a bunch of great artists. So it's like we do a lot of stuff, but we don't always get to work with a great artist where it all kind of comes together and comes out to be a great package. So I love that, and I love it for you, and I love it for everybody who's going home with this today and be able to celebrate that. And you won't even, but you'll be there with them in spirit and in real life. So it's all good.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So what is up next for you?
Trying to think. A lot. Well, the next 2 months I do Charlotte products too, like beer glasses with the skyline on it, stickers, shirts.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I got my hands in everything.
Yes.
So I have a lot of holiday events with that, working on the Airbnb mural. Yeah, and then, so this is my busy time of year, like, you know, the holidays with products and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then so I'll go to Florida for Christmas. And I just booked a month-long vacation in Thailand.
I have
Which
some
I'm sure you'll
recommendations
probably
for
find
you.
some work there.
Yes. I have some recommendations for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's networking.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally, man.
But my friend, she just got her PhD and she wants to travel. And she was like, you're the only person I know who has a flexible schedule, who can take off this much time, and who will probably say yes. And I was like, just tell me what I gotta do.
I'm a hostel, not HOSTEL.
Yeah, you're not hostile.
I'm not hostile. I'm a hostile girl, woman. And I bet you get free lodging if you do just a few little things there, because I stayed in a few that definitely needed like just a little bit of spunk.
Yeah, just and even if it's a little quote or something cute, like it's so easy. Paint can transform so much.
I have so many recommendations.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And we were just going to go for 2 weeks. And we're going to do a guided tour. And then they were like, oh, you could add on this one for like $800 more, and you could stay a whole month. And I was like, oh, well, we're going
Wait,
to
so you
stay.
doubled
The
the trip for
massages, the
$800? That's a
pad
no-brainer.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's networking. So.
Good for you.
But that's all I've ever wanted to do is travel. Like, that's been a huge goal of mine. And then in a corporate world, it's really not easy to do. And then COVID happened. So I did get to do that. So now I have the flexibility. I can afford to do it. I'm like, I need to do it now because I'm not going to be able to do it forever. So, or maybe I will. I don't know.
Good for you. Oh, my gosh. So good for you. That's super duper exciting. Maddie,
How do people get a hold of her?
I'm so thrilled that you got a chance to meet her in live, too.
I know. I'm fangirling when I see you.
Exactly.
I'll do the same thing.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And we can say, we knew her when she was doing shirts.
I know.
So for our listeners, how can they catch up with you aside from seeing some of your artwork outside and aside from being part of the marathon and getting this artwork on their shirt? Where else can they find you?
I'm most active on Instagram, so that's MADDYEBBERT.art. Super easy. MADDYEBBERT. Nobody ever spells it right, but
we'll throw that on the page.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure it's in the
Easy
show
to click
notes.
on. And the website, Facebook, all the same name. So.
Good stuff.
Easy to find
Great
me.
stuff. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us.
Yeah, this was so fun.
And congratulations on everything you've got going on here. And again, the design's been so very well received. I'm so excited for everybody to pick it up today and take a look at it and go.
Yeah, I know. I saw people
rocking it.
I saw people with goodie bags outside, and I wanted to be like, "Do you like the T-shirt?"
They do. They do.
And if they said no, I'd be like,
Like, what kind of bum are you?
Yeah.
It's
That's
beautiful.
1 out of 9,600.
Exactly. You know, one
We'll
guy.
disqualify them. You just
Exactly.
tell me what number they had.
Exactly. I'll say their name wrong at the finish line.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely,
kidding. Literally great.
You know the right people.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing. Maddie Ebbert, thank you so much. It's great having you on the show. Can't wait to see what you do next, friend.
"Yay, thanks."
Thank you.
The Running Around Charlotte podcast is presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. Running Around Charlotte is produced in partnership with Well Run Media and Marketing. New episodes are available every week, anywhere you listen to podcasts.